What's the real story behind Seeing Through the Mystic?
Seeing Through the Mystic has been a work in progress for the past 10 years living in Seattle. It originates from life experience, people who come into my life, and of course my own imagination. And trying to find my own creative roots. I'd constantly be coming up with new ideas and concepts, and I'd start a project and get distracted by another one, and so I was like, all right, I had to take a step back and figure out an idea how I can get all my ideas, put them into a box, put a lid on them, wrap it up beautifully, and then have something to present to the world. So originally, Seeing Through the Mystic started off as a script, and then it morphed itself into this self-exploration kind of documentary. It wasn't until a couple years ago I was kind of going through a lot of self-reflecting times and healing and a lot of personal transformation, and it's time to bring Seeing Through the Mystic back to the forefront and go with it, you know, and just really put your heart into it. So I do a little bit of market research, and what I do is I go out and tell the story to people about how this old mystic left its packet of personal transformation for people to come across and transform their lives. And I happen to be one of them, and I met at Volunteer Park a couple months later, and I realized there's 3 other people who also found the packet. And so we remained in contact with each other, and throughout the years I watched them progress. And so I say to them, hey man, we should really do a documentary on this whole thing and how this all went down. So I would tell people this, and people would give me great feedback, saying, wow man, that's a great story, man, that's cool that happened, blah blah. And I would explain to them, all right, well that didn't really happen, but I wanted to get the reaction. I want to see how they connected to this story. So that motivated me. That motivated me to get this project going. And once I got the project going, I made 2 demos. And my other goal of getting it going was to get actual female artists to portray these characters and incorporating their art with my vision. But when you're talking about death, things that has to them, and needless to say, I kind of spooked some people off. But it was kind of like a blessing in disguise, because now I'm left with, okay, what do I do now? I got this project going, and now I can't find the right people to make the thing happen, now what? And so that's when the art of character kind of kicked in. So the 3 people come to me and say, look, we're really excited that you want to do this documentary and talk about our lives and, you know, and document our stories. But we feel, as a creator, as an artist, and to open up your mind, we feel that you should do some of the expansions that we did as, you know, as creators and artists. So that's how it all began, and this is where it became more of the self-exploration. So now I am doing a documentary on my own personal transformation by doing the art of these people, and that is my kind of art of character. So this is how this whole thing all began and originated, and is continuing to impact my own worlds.
What does Seeing Through the Mystic stand for?
Seeing Through the Mystic comes from 3 different kind of ideas. One from Mark Bourne of T-Rex, and his song is called Messing with the Mystics. So I turned that into Seeing Through the Mystic, which also reflects seeing is the camera, through the mystic is the mystic, and seeing his story effect for other people, and kind of documenting that. And lastly, it's like that old saying, I see right through you, and it's seen through myself, and going within myself to create this project. So more than anything, it's more of a play on words.
Who are the characters in the story?
The story of Roxanne originated several years ago when I had a vision for a spiritually creative, offbeat, eccentric, kind of urban artist who one of her specialties is collage work. In the story, it kind of goes where, you know, a friend finds a packet that wants nothing to do with it, but gives it to Roxanne, and she feels that she can benefit from it. And after Roxanne reads the packet, she opens up more channels of her experimental art. She was very much inspired by the old man who left a packet for strangers to come across. And her whole philosophy was to get 5 disposable cameras out there, and the stranger will come across, take pictures of whatever they want, return it to her, and she would create 4 or 5 different pieces, all in the celebration of creativity with this project. And since Roxanne is a byproduct of my own imagination, I had a great time with, so I went out, sent out 5 disposable cameras, I got 3 back. They're all representation of love, death, travel, and it allowed me to open up creatively with my inner child and just allowing the art to be free right then and there in the moment. So basically sum it up with this expansion, this project, the art of Seeing Through the Mystic, I would say that, in the words of Kurt Cobain, I'm so happy because today I found my friends that are in my head. And these friends help me come out of the shadows to reveal that I've got something to say. So it's been an awesome experience. The concept for Jackie Blackstone originated at my aunt's funeral about 8 years ago. And at this church, the front of the house is where all the friends are, and on the right is where all the family is. It's basically separated by a wall so you can't really see each other. And it was when everyone started standing up and telling stories about my aunt, I had a quick vision or a thought. And I thought, well, how cool would it be if there was like a complete stranger who walked in off the street, sat down and absorbed all these stories about my aunt. Maybe took notes or whatever, and went home and meditated on it and maybe either painted a picture dedicated to her or a story. And so I thought, wow, that'd be great for a character. And so when I started seeing through the mystic, I brought that idea back and I gave it to Jackie Blackstone. And to me, Jackie was a very gothy, very heavy soul girl who built walls around her because she's been hurt by people. And after she read the packet of transformation, she broke those walls down and found a way that she could pay homage to strangers who passed on by, writing a story about this person's life, painting a picture, or even writing a book about her experiences doing this. And that's kind of the story of Jackie Blackstone. And as mentioned, I couldn't find someone to incorporate their art into my vision, so that's when the art of character came into focus. And I will start off by saying that I did not attend the funerals of the people I worked on Seeing Through the Mystic, out of respect to the family and friends. I did, however, create stories about the people who have passed on. And while reading the obituaries, whether it's 5 or whether it's 15 sentences long, there's always something very positive about this person's life. What made them who they are, the things they've overcome, their hobbies, volunteering, served time in wars, or whatever it may be. There's just a very powerful story in these, and I thought I'd just elaborate and create even further. From doing these expansions has opened me up to new ideas in paying homage to people here on Earth and also who have passed on. So this has been a wonderful experience in creating the expansion for Jackie Blackstone. Mitch Riker, also known as Carl Todd, is a real person with real influence on my life. I met him about 8 or 9 years ago at a coffee shop that I was working at. He used to come in and just tell me these great stories about being on the road, connecting with people, and just the experiences that he had. And the guy had a great presence of love and energy about him. So one day he comes in with his purple notebook with all of his short stories, and he gave it to me. And I read them, and I just loved them. And as life goes on, I quit my job, and he, moved on. He's kind of a recluse, so there's really no way to contact him. But it was great just the way it worked in life. I just kind of saw him at the most random times throughout these years. And every time it was like a really cool time. One time I saw him and he was kind of sick and I had to go visit him at the hospital. The next time I got my camera, this time I went to his house and filmed him on several occasions. So I had all those stories right at hand, And lastly, last time I saw him was, I was going to a job interview. And who hops on the bus with Carl, And so we exchanged numbers. He got his cell phone this time. And so I met up with him and I told him what I want to do with his stories. And he gave me his blessings to do whatever I want with them. And that there's a story, there's a message in there that he thinks people need to hear. So he's been a major influence on my life, artistically, creatively, and just metaphorically in these stories and stuff that I've created. So he played a major role in characters and ideas that I had. He's a wonderful teacher, and I hope that I get a chance to honor him and his stories by doing this new kind of creative art form that really hasn't been done. That's the story of Mitch Riker's Carl Todd.
Well, in fact, we gave you a name at one point, too.
Yeah, you're right.
Mitch Riker. Yes.
Yeah, Mitch Riker, that's right. I've told people that joke. It's just like that. That is cool.
Now that Seeing Through the Mystic is over, what's next for you?
Well, earlier I mentioned the box filled with all my ideas. And throughout time, these ideas have been kind of marinating in creative juices. Since doing Seeing Through the Mystic, gained some confidence, I felt it's time to take that lid off and pour these ideas into the universe and see where they may go. So whether it's expanding on Seeing Through the Mystic and all my ideas that are involved, or a dedication to the artists, filmmakers, and creators and community of Seattle, then right now I'm allowing the universal winds to take me to the right places in the right time, the right people to make these visions happen. So that's kind of where I'm at right now with my next stages of creation. I hope to continue to put good things into this earth.